Hi, everyone. Hello, Warriors. How's everyone doing today? So, looks like the BOE, whatever they did, definitely gave a jolt to the upside in cable, with EG falling out of bed. It's at the 1.618 here. Tough candle. Hi, Forex gal. TJ, how are you? Alexander, Hugo, Brock, how are you? My trading warrior brother Kevin and Ren and everyone else. While the Euro USD, breaks down under 120.5 here, I would say be careful with dollar longs right now because of this. We're right up against this fairly important channel line that I had. We got up there 91.40, 91.50. We could accelerate out of here, but I'd be careful. We're not confirming. Barely confirmed here, and we're getting a negative candle right here on the 4-hour. Similar in the 2. So this channel line was drawn a long time ago. Okay, and this is what I was looking for when we were down there. I don't think this is the end of the dollar rally, but we could have a pullback. I guess Ellioticians could also say so far it's just 3 waves, right? If you counted it A, B, C. So be careful with this right now. Getting a little bit of divergence as well in US dollar yen, which has had a very nice run over 104. See how we're not confirming here. That's a 4-hour. That's a 2. And let's see, even the 15-minute, well, a little bit. Diverging a little bit. So be careful with that. Gold, with the yen strong, continuing to follow through to the downside. I don't see any reason to buy it. And silver's just trying to hold this support, this solid support line right here. But from where we were Sunday night, Monday morning, I don't think it looks good. We only have, 1 day left in the week. So here's your weekly candle on silver. And back here, when we peaked back here, we never had a reversal day, right? It just stopped going up and then chopped around and corrected. This looks a little more decisive at this high, where we just had a stop hunt, right? The high here was 29.86, and I think Sunday night we got to 30.09, so we took it out by 23 cents. So anyone that was short silver, I know they're gone. Okay, so be careful here too. And especially if the gold silver ratio starts to close back above, look at where we are here too on the weekly. Looks like a second drive. We're not making new RSI lows, so be careful about even favoring silver over gold. We could get a rip to the upside here. Still, we're playing around with the breakdown here at 68 or so, but a couple days already back up at the breakdown. So it's giving people maybe a little bit too much time to just sell it back here at previous lows. So this is going to be very important for precious metal traders. S&Ps, really haven't done anything. They're still underneath the 2-week off number. And for those of you that, it looks like a great weekly candle, but if you count back 2 candles, the off number is 38, 39, 30. And we've tried it a few times. We've been above it a little bit. And tomorrow's the end of the week. So we'll see if we end up with a 2-week reversal in the next 36 hours. Okay, any questions? GDX really never, because it's mainly made up of gold shares, really never did anything fantastic. To me, it still looks like we're headed lower. Almost looks like a massive head and shoulders formation here, a descending triangle. Maybe you could buy the miners down here, especially the gold miners, GDX around 27 or so. I wouldn't be jumping on it here. Okay. And the VIX, really don't know what to do with it. Once it took out 29, it was hard to, stay bullish. So I know that, I think that DJ, you're waiting for like 18 or so from a few weeks ago. Is that correct, to load up? I think we're going to 18. Okay, I remembered you saying that. Came up in my room. All right, so Blake, how are you today? How's the bias chart going for members? They enjoying it?
Oh yeah, we get actually a really big group of traders. It's awesome, and it's great because we can answer questions. Steve and Stelios are there answering questions after I'm done with the bias chart, and I can be a little bit more specific on what I'm covering. So it's good, and
Good.
I'm really enjoying it. Speaking of enjoying it, I wanted to make sure that everybody knew this from yesterday. When yesterday or the day before yesterday, when Steve mentioned this, if you guys didn't know, we have Live Squawk integrated, so you have your you can get audio broadcasts. So remember, the Live Squawk is, as you see, it's integrated in with ForexAnalytix, right? These are like Bloomberg and Reuters headline, excuse me, and we have now integrated the audio broadcast into that. Now, the audio broadcast, it is a paid service because they have, it's there. If you guys don't know what a squawk service is, they have, some people around the clock that basically read headlines as they come out. So it's quicker than typing. And, so you get the information really quick. And plus, sometimes they provide analysis and not necessarily just headlines, some big, like, euro dollar broke 120, it's they might announce that over squawk. Anyway, that squawk is now available through ForexAnalytix at a discounted amount. So if you go directly to Live Squawk, it's $60 a month. We get it at our cost is $50 a month, so we just pass it on to you guys. So that's it's just a benefit of being part of ForexAnalytix. So if you haven't gotten your Live Squawk yet and you want to try it, see if it works for you, click here to start your free trial with Live Squawk, and then from there, it is a little bit of a discount. So it's a benefit, and you can get that even if you're with you have your light version. So if you're a ForexAnalytix subscriber and you're not even premium, but you're in a light version at $19 a month. At $19 a month, you're basically getting ForexAnalytix for $9 a month, right? I mean, because if you think about it, you've got so that means you get all these webinars for $9 a month. Because if you were going to go get the Live Squawk service anyway, it's definitely money saving. So make sure you guys take advantage of that. I wanted to make sure I mentioned it because I know Steve brushed over it the other day, but I'm going to talk about it for a while because I want everybody to really take advantage of it. I use a Squawk service as well. I have used Live Squawk. I don't use them currently because of the one that my trading office uses. Because they have it's more expensive because they do like some other things too, but I actually prefer Live Squawk because it's more focused on macro and equity and FX related, more specifically. So anyway, just want to make sure I mentioned that to you guys. And we had some pretty big moves overnight. So let's talk about the cable. So the cable ripped after the Bank of England. Why did it rally higher? Well, let me just show you a couple things. This is Bank of England holds rates. They cut GDP forecast. Great. Then they talked about negative rates, and they even told banks that hey, we don't expect to use it, but you should prepare for it anyway. But they didn't want to, and they didn't want to signal that that you were going to get negative rates out of the Bank of England. And so what happened is the cable just ripped, because a lot of people were thinking that they might actually chatter a little bit more about negative rates and, kind of lay the groundwork that it's coming soon. And because it's not, the pound really ripped higher. And, if you're the euro sterling short has been, we've been bearish since we broke down through this 88.60 support, and the 127% extension was, the ultimate target in this run, which we just completed. So that's one of the things that you have to think about if you're trading the euro sterling on the short side, or the cable on the long side, is that we are now reaching targets. And you can just see, while we trade below the 88.60 level, we still maintain bearish near term and look for a move to the 87.70, 127% extension. That was on the 1st of February. I mean, all week long we've been basically targeting that. And so here we are, we're at 88.70. So does that mean you should get out of your shorts? I don't necessarily know about that, but you definitely should be really careful with your positions. It's kind of like what Dale, like you were saying just a moment ago, being long the dollar, you do have to be a little careful here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you got, now I do want to say this really fast. The reversal candle that you're seeing in the dollar, that is predominantly pound related. You know what I mean? Because if you look at the euro is just consolidating below the 120, quietly consolidating there. And if you really want to know what rules the market, it's the euro. So with the euro trading down at these levels, you've got to be kind of careful. You know what I'm saying? It's just consolidating down here. And yeah, I mean, if we start pushing towards, and we have a 50% retracement in the euro coming in right here at 119.73, we break through that, we're gonna let loose a little bit more, because I think there's a lot of people right now that are like, oh, look, the pound broke 120, no follow through, right? Broke 120, no follow through. I'm gonna get long, because every day in North America, everybody buys stocks anyways. So when they buy stocks, I'm just going to go ahead and, short the dollar, because that's what happens. Stocks go up, dollar goes down. Let's buy some euro. Why not? Because it's going to end up being a false breakdown anyway. But what they're finding out is that, they'll buy it, and then they're going to probably put their stops below a 50% retracement, maybe below, if they wanted to give it a little bit more room, they might put it below 1950, or maybe below 1920. My 2 cents is your stops are probably below 1970 at this point. Anybody who's buying it intraday right now. So, if we start breaking through like the 1970 level, we're going to test 1950. You're going to just start triggering stops. So the fact that the euro hasn't rallied, to me, especially as stocks go higher, is a risk for the euro. And there are probably more stops accumulating below current prices. So you have to be really careful with the dollar here. I see the dollar index, like what Dale's saying, but I do also have an understanding that the dollar right now, and what you're seeing with the dollar, is more sterling related than anything else, right? So, hey, Dale, what else are you looking at today?
U.S. dollar yen is starting to get close to Greg's target on the pattern in play that he bought very well. And if you're, if you're a precious metal bull, you're hoping the yen terminates here pretty soon.
Yeah, and I have to hand it to Greg, and and anybody else that can figure out the dollar yen, because I can't. I actually shorted it earlier this week at 105.07, and I sat in it for literally 24 hours, and then I got out of it at 105.05 or something like that. And I think I shorted it here, got out here, and I mean, I'm like, it's so frustrating. I don't even know what I'm doing. Trading.
Something else I noticed, Blake, that I didn't cover, with crude continuing to make new highs.
Yes.
Canada's held up like a champ with risk on and and crude going higher. What do you think?
Absolutely, it has. I mean, the dollar Canadian looks great. I mean, you look at, let's talk about like the crude sensitive currencies. So you got the dollar Canadian, right? You're exactly right. Crude is, almost it's above 55. I mean, I get my gas at Costco because it's right next door to where we live, and it's like 25 cents a gallon cheaper than maybe 35 cents a gallon cheaper than anywhere else. It's crazy how, if you ever go to a Costco, there's lines so far because everybody gets their gas there because it's so incredibly cheap, right? And I've actually noticed prices have been going up because I've gas up the truck and car and and all that stuff, but gas prices have been going up. But man, this dollar Canadian, you would have thought by now the dollar Canadian would be trading well below 127 at this point, and it's not. And you look at Norway, the US dollar Norwegian krone is not trading below 860. It's trading up near resistance. If we have any type of risk off, if crude rolls over any whatsoever, those are going to be in trouble. And you can see crude's got at AB equals CD, comes in at 59. So I still think crude has the potential to go a little further, even though it's pretty overbought intraday. But that's a great point, Dale. There's another currency that I feel the same way about. Do you know what that is?
Aussie.
Yeah. I mean, look at equities. Equities were earlier this week, they were down here at 3,700, right? And we were ripping. The Aussie was trading at 76.60. Up here. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Or actually, here, let's put it side by side here. You can just kind of see. Here's the Aussie, and here's the S&P. Oops, dang it, the wrong way. Let's go this way. All right. So, and let me go over to a 4 hour. So, here we were dumping at the end of last week. We were at 3,700. The end of last week, we were at 76.60. So we've got this big bounce in equities. What is that? 4%, 5% higher.
Yeah.
And the Aussie's actually lower. I mean, I know it's extremely frustrating because last night I was at my kids' soccer practice, and the Aussie dollar was at 76.40, and I'd short a little bit. I was walking around. I shorted a little bit, covered it at like 35, and I'm like, I bet it's on its way back down. Then I'd look at my phone again, and it's at 42, and I'm like, what the hell is it doing? Like, equities aren't even going up, so it's staying buoyant. I mean, it's staying buoyant because equities are staying buoyant, so it's Aussie's kind of holding in there. But man, if equities really come down, this Aussie is going to be in trouble. So yeah, that's something that definitely has my attention. And I'm sorry, I just realized that we have a new face
format
timeline, and I was just rattling on like no one else matters. But my teammates Steve and Stelios are here, so and they matter. How you doing, guys?
Hello, I just went for a nap there because I thought you were going to do the whole
I'm
thing.
sorry, I did not mean to take up all your time. So
yeah. We've heard that before.
I totally. I'm end of the week. All right, or getting close to the end of the week. I'm going to bow out of here. So, guys, if you want to be part of ForexAnalytix, make sure you take a trial. It's only $1 for 10 days. Give it a whirl. download the app. Even if you're going to use the light version, you're still going to need the app. So, and then visit our webinar sponsor, Pepperstone Securities, and open an account right at this link if you're outside the US and Canada. And also go visit Forest Park FX if you are in the US. So I'm out of here. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for your support. I'll see you on Phase 2.0 in about an hour or so.
Thank you, Blake. Thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
Okay, hello everybody. I just want to add something now that Blake was talking about Canada and Norway. People who have been following me, they know I've been adding on to Norway long, so Euro Norway and dollar Norway shorts for years now on spikes. I am, as of yesterday, completely flat because I'm very, very worried about this move in oil and the currency just not following at all. And also, we're seeing the dollar kind of turn. I think it might have legs. I've said it before. I think DXY to 95, 96, maybe 97 could easily happen, especially if we do get. My dog apparently has an opinion
hey guys,
on this.
Stelios,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to
Yeah,
interrupt.
no.
There's somebody on Twitter that's saying there's no sound on YouTube. I don't know if there's any.
Yeah, we've told our tech guys, and they're looking into it.
Okay,
Yeah.
sorry guys. I'm
Sorry,
sorry
guys.
I'll let you know. Carry on.
So I was saying, I think the DXY could easily get to 95, 96, maybe 97. We know how it can move, especially if we get any kind of risk-off move. I know people are going to laugh, risk-off, it never happens. But if we do, this thing could shoot to 96 in 2 days, literally. So I'm a bit worried about these currencies not following oil, and also the risk of now a dollar spike because everybody's short dollars. So I'm now flat Norway for the first time since 2015, I think. So never thought that would happen. Anyway, I just wanted to add that because we did talk about these currencies, the commodity currencies. Okay, so today, as Blake mentioned, we had the Bank of England. They kept rates unchanged. They kept QE unchanged. There was a very minuscule chance of them increasing QE or doing something like that, but that clearly didn't happen. But again, like Blake correctly said, a lot of market participants thought they might prepare the ground for negative rates, and they were quite clear. They did mention them and said to the banks, prepare for that just in case, but it doesn't mean that we're going to do anything. And
Yeah.
you know how that happens. And also, the Bank of England is notoriously known for being one of the slowest moving dinosaur type central banks. I still remember when I was a sterling market maker, and it was like, yeah, let's take 6 months to think about this and maybe let's do something. So I don't expect them to be quick on deciding, implementing, etc. But they seem to be thinking about all scenarios, even though negative rates, I think many people will agree, they don't really work. But that's what they said, and that gave the pound a little bit.
Why should that stop us from doing it, right? I mean,
Yes,
the fact that it doesn't work, shouldn't be much of a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, I could argue that negative rates do work, but they do not work for what they're intended to work. They do a lot of bad, but no good.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, what else is there to say? I mean, there were, again, another day of nothing major happening in the global environment. Biden is talking about the $1,400 stimulus checks, and they're still debating and negotiating about how it's going to be done. And I'm not even paying attention to that, because in the end, they're going to give whatever money is needed just to keep things going a little bit longer, and then we see.
Why not start the year with an already 10% guaranteed deficit?
Yeah, why not?
By the hand, yeah.
Why not? It's like,
why not have a 10% yearly deficit already by February? Makes sense.
Crazy. So data-wise, we had very little day. We had UK construction PMI came in below 50, was expected quite a bit above. So that's showing a contraction. And overall, the UK is not, due to the whole Brexit situation, obviously it's going to be a very bumpy road, especially for the first year or so. So that didn't actually manage to move the pound much, but that's what we had. Then, of course, tomorrow we have payrolls out of the US. So, but
Let's see if
otherwise,
it matters.
otherwise very, very quiet data-wise for people who watch that. And what else? What else am I looking at? Oil is surprising me. I mean, the strength is really surprising me, given the environment, given everything. I mean,
Doesn't really technically surprise me. I mean, the last consolidation we had was like textbook, continuation formation.
yeah. I wonder if futures are now in backwardation or maybe close to that. As the price rises and expectations.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I have to check that. And of course, metals are getting sold again today. So we're back in silver. We're back to 2650-ish, which is where we were.
I think within the year,
yeah,
crude should at least test that trend line, if not that one.
Oh wow! Okay.
Not yet, though. I don't expect us to go there, in one move. I expect that we should first get a correction lower sooner rather than later before we can, see another leg higher.
Yeah,
like something like that.
Mark is saying, a friend Mark saying WTI and Brent are in backwardation. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, after such a long period of, in essence, being in an uptrend.
Yeah, and Hayes asking Steve, no Steve, I am long silver, and yes, I still am, and I'll be looking to add on dips, unleveraged. Yeah, the same way as I did my last trade for people who have been following FACE 2 years ago.
Bullish case scenario in silver is this. Bearish case scenario in silver is this.
Yeah, like 19, 20. Oh, you think lower?
No. I mean, it's an exaggeration, but perhaps a lower low, like, I don't know, somewhere like this.
20, I think 1920 is huge.
Yeah. So,
Steve, I was going to ask you, since you know Elliot better than me, can you pull up a weekly on silver?
Sure, absolutely.
Long John Silver.
What do you want to say?
The weekly? Oh,
yeah.
Is that the weekly in silver?
You want to see the monthly?
Not
no,
oil,
the weekly.
Silver,
weekly on silver.
What did I put? Oh, yeah. We were talking about crude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you if, I'm way off base.
There you go.
I like it.
Okay. Wow, that's not showing the other high at 30. Oh, that's because this is old. It's before it did the move to 30.
Yeah. No.
Okay. I need a live chart to ask you the question.
Sure, I can put up a live chart. Wait,
you have one? You sure?
There it is.
Okay, there.
Mm-hmm.
You see that spike up there?
Mm-hmm.
Could that have been an irregular B, that the high from July was A, and then we went and made a margin?
Sure, of course it can.
Irregular B.
Of course,
and then you get a C, and if it's a fib extension of A, that's how you could come up with about 17, 18.
Of course it can. Of course it can be.
All right. That's what I wanted to ask. I don't know Elliot.
Stelio, give me 1 second. Somebody's calling me from a number I don't know.
Well, we have an interview now anyway.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Well, we can go on with the interview if your guest is here, and then Steve Blake.
I'm not sure. Matt, are you here? DJ Thistle?
Let's see. Hold on.
I have Matt Barrage. I'm not sure if that's
His
last name.
DJ Thistle. I can see him. I can see DJ Thistle in the. Shall I promote him to panelist? Or
sure,
he's
go
in the
ahead.
list. Yep. Hold on.
Oh, he came in under DJ Thistle. Huh. Okay.
Yep. So he should be rejoining any second as a panelist. There he is.
Thanks, buddy.
No worries,
I
man.
guess Steve will have to.
I'm back, by the way.
He's dealing with the police right now, so let's leave him alone.
Yes. I mean, I shouldn't have been selling those drugs. I know. It was a mistake.
Steve, the guest is here, so we can do the interview, and then we'll be back.
Okay, mate. Sure, absolutely.
Cool. So,
Hello.
you're
Hi,
still
Matt.
muted. Yeah, you're still muted, Matt.
Wait, there we go.
There you
All
go.
right. How are you, Matt?
Oh, not too bad. This is the earliest
Good.
I've ever been on.
Yeah, it's we have a new schedule. So at this time in the morning, would you still remember how to share your screen?
Yes. There we go, like there. Hopefully like that.
There you go.
Okay.
All right. So looks like you want to talk about some crypto, Ethereum versus Bitcoin.
Yeah. Okay. It's 5:30 in the morning here. Let's see if my brain works. So here we go. So let's start with, usually we end up doing some legacy market stuff first, and then I talk about something interesting. I think today we're going to mainly focus on crypto.
Okay.
What
a move.
Yeah, exactly. So let me just get the mic a little better. Awesome. Okay, so right about here, when the price was under this red moving average, I had made a tweet showing these W bottoms on the 4-hour chart where price had pushed below, come back up, touched the red line, come back below, and then made sort of the bottom half of a W. So my main reason for thinking that this was going to happen was just that in a strong bull market, especially since this, obviously it looks very strong on the bigger view here.
What is that red moving average? What's the time frame on it?
I don't like to share that one. It was a part of my sort of something that I have as a
selfish analyst.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
So,
proprietary indicator.
So as much as things have gone up quite a lot, it hasn't shot, to an insane parabolic kind of like upshot like over here and over here, right? So my general view was that we should have a continuation back up to this level, which we have, just because bull markets tend to not peter out until it explodes generally in crypto. So and if we were to look on the weekly chart, we see that last time there was a little bit of a pause at the all-time high before shooting through. We had just a small consolidation and we shot through. Like I said, we haven't gone fully parabolic yet. Something that's interesting, if you were to say, okay, well, it's broken out, it's a new bull market.
What do you do with fresh cash here?
Yeah, so something that's interesting that non-crypto people wouldn't know, and even probably about half crypto people probably, is Three Arrows Capital. So Three Arrows generally has a pretty good beat on what's happening, and mostly what they invest in does well. So areas they're looking at is 48 and 72. And you might be saying, well, why? And that's because a lot of people in the world are realizing that huge names are very bullish in the space. Ray Dalio coming on board, people like Druckenmiller recently, Paul Tudor Jones, these are big names that are making people very interested in Bitcoin. So if we were to go back to...
If I may intervene a little bit, Ray Dalio, because I heard his interview, actually, talked about cryptos with a lot of ifs and buts and, asterisks. Because I heard his interview, I was interested. So it's not like he was like, I'm buying cryptocurrencies here and.
Yeah, he's more, I think that's kind of indicative of
style.
A lot of, and a lot of them kind of downplay it a bit, and then you realize, all of a sudden Stan Druckenmiller is doing an interview and he's like, oh yeah, Bitcoin's cool, and we have some. Like, wait a second, wait, record scratch, and what is that? So I think that's just Dalio being on board at all is important to sentiment, and I think this happened with Paul Tudor Jones when he came on.
For sentiment, yes, but you just also made a point which is quite important. If you are a person that has big firepower, by firepower I mean a lot of money, there are two instances under which you might decide to, in essence, talk up any type of investment, right? Not only cryptos. One, you already own as much as you want to own. So now you want other people to also own it.
Yep.
Two, you don't intend to own it. Otherwise, why would you prop up the price of something you intend to buy in the future?
Yeah, I totally understand. Yeah, and something I was going to point to next was, if these people are coming on board, are we actually seeing it in volume? And especially with crypto, just the big moves on the blockchain itself. So there was the whole micro strategy, Michael Saylor buying, which he did a bunch of buying here. He did a bunch of buying here, and then he recently did some buying. Now, right in this candle right in here, the Christmas to New Year's sort of area, we had seen the largest outflow, or one of the largest outflows ever from Coinbase. And we also are seeing Grayscale buying on some weeks, are buying Bitcoin, more than is even being mined in a week. We also know that Guggenheim has been approved, and they wanted to do up to 10%. So they've got like 5.3 billion. So they have been approved for 500 million worth of GBTC.
So we're in the stage the last 6 months or so, DJ, that
yeah.
We were talking about maybe a year or so ago, and that's the adoption phase, where it's before being accepted by conventional type people that the first maybe 7 years thought it was weren't sure, but really I think it started with PayPal accepting payments with it sometime this year was really kind of lit the fuse for it.
Yeah, that definitely made a big difference. And then, along with that was people like Michael Saylor buying and Guggenheim trying to get in and things like that. So there has been more, institutional interest, and these big outflows that we're seeing on the blockchain itself. Sometimes a fund or something like that will come out and say, hey, we've been buying Bitcoin, or is interested in it, like Mass Mutual is I think it's like one of the oldest, if not oldest, mutual funds. So having people like that on board is important. So here, Metcalfe's law, when we're talking about, that just Bitcoin has been in this growth curve that has just fit the bill since the beginning. Now, this is an older chart, and just to kind of show that, it fit in the beginning of the curve, and price, we actually are right here, right now. So we're just under the bottom side of this curve. So it's kind of showing that if Bitcoin is what it is, and it's trying to do what it's actually trying to do, and if it is being adopted, we should see these type of curves, and that's what's happening. And we're seeing that now, even as prices shot above all-time high. We're seeing huge amounts of buying at $20,000 and $30,000 with these massive outflows. So institutions are buying institutions are buying here and here, and not down here or over here, because they weren't, they didn't have the proper legal exposure to instruments or things that they could buy for their funds. And now all these things are online and approved by the SEC and whatnot. So they're able to get in the marketplace. So it seems crazy that they're buying now, but they are.
What do you make out of Modi's proposal to make Bitcoin illegal, but for the Bank of India to have their own cryptocurrency?
Yeah, I think that's sort of indicative of what's happening in like the central bank digital currencies that are being worked on throughout the world, and that's being launched in China. So I think it just goes to show that we're moving towards digital money in general. India hasn't, even though it's a large population base, hasn't been like a huge player in the crypto space. So their decisions on what they want to do doesn't really show itself on the charts. It doesn't impact the market too much, so it's not one to worry about. compared to, you know, China or Russia seems to move the charts more. So Bitcoin has broken out and is moving out, broken out and is moving out. So if we look at this as the total market cap, so this is Bitcoin, Ethereum, all the altcoins, all that kind of stuff. So on a non-log chart, it kind of looks like, okay, you know, we've blown off to the upside and, you know, maybe that's it. But if we were to hit this to a log chart, this here was after the 2013-14 high right here. So the actual 2014 high would have been, for some reason it's not printing, be around this blue line. So, you know, there was a bit of a pause here, just like there's a bit of a pause here. So if we're seeing these legitimate huge outflows, and we're seeing people like Guggenheim come into the space, and all this is, you know, legitimate, and we have this strong push to the upside to the new all-time highs, I think that makes sense why that the total market cap can keep running as well. Now, to make it kind of blow off, we would need to see more altcoins participate. So, you know, what's going to start moving well? And usually, you know, the other top movers like Ethereum are going to keep moving with Bitcoin. See with Ethereum, it has recently had a pause here at its old all-time high in US dollars, and it's just breaking through the last couple days. So that's a pretty important one. Also, Grayscale, which runs GBTC for Bitcoin, also has an investment trust for Ethereum, and that has recently opened up January 29th. And we also have CME futures being offered for Ethereum on February 8th. So now, when this happened for Bitcoin and gold originally, CME futures was kind of the shot that took the market down. So, you know, with Ethereum, that's where were we right here? With Ethereum just breaking the USD all-time high, you know, is futures going to be the top? It kind of seems like with these inflows into Bitcoin and the Grayscale Trust just opening up, that, you know, maybe we'll see people that already have crypto holdings maybe hedge their spot coins, but I don't know if we're going to see CME totally smash the market down like Ethereum, like it did to Bitcoin, just because we are just barely breaking out. Seems like it's kind of an exposure event for institutions to get on board with Ethereum and not necessarily short, because when it was Bitcoin here, this did like right here was when the CME options came out for Bitcoin, whereas for Ethereum, you know, it's just breaking the USD high. So I think this might be in a way for these players like Guggenheim that want exposure to Bitcoin to get some more proper exposure for their funds for Ethereum. Now, most things are priced in US dollars, right? And most people trade Bitcoin like the BTC USD pair, whereas a lot of the altcoins, you might trade the Bitcoin pair. So here's a chart I did for the Ethereum Bitcoin pair, basically showing most of the time Bitcoin is king. It is the one in the market that, even though things zigzag around, that Bitcoin outperforms most altcoins over the long term because it's just better technology. Now, Ethereum has been a strong number 2 ever since it's come out. Here's this classic Livermore parabola here, like a bear market down, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then it goes off into the speculative market. So a few weeks ago or a couple months ago, I'd made this chart thinking that we were at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had busted through that, and we were going to make a run to the top. Now we can see in this, here's a better view for people. And here's the updated one from yesterday or the day before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, where we broke through, and now we're right at the top of the cylinder. So if Bitcoin is strong and institutional interest is there, and total market cap is pushing up, and if total market cap wants to go parabolic with Bitcoin, something that is going to make the crypto total market cap go parabolic would be Ethereum outpacing Bitcoin. And I think that there's a strong technical analysis,
What do you call that
say,
Livermore chart again, DJ?
Yeah, just a Livermore speculative chart.
Okay, thanks.
So that's my thinking as to how this can continue to the upside, Bitcoin itself, and how it and Ethereum and other altcoins can then make the total market cap keep going. So if Ethereum is a better play, basically I'm saying that I think that based on this viewpoint that is now partially played out, that Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin by probably double at some point. Now, if in crypto, we generally see what's it called? Rising tide takes all boats or all ships. So once a lot of altcoins and everything is, once everything is risk on, everything kind of tends to bubble together. So now that Ethereum, sort of the leader of the altcoins, is making these moves, I think other things are going to turn around too. Now, something I mentioned Grayscale earlier with GBTC and also the Ethereum Trust. They also have a couple other trusts. Ethereum Classic is another one. It looks terrible, but you're seeing here a lot of volume and a lot of buy volume coming in on this bottom. There was way more volume here compared to all through here, these kind of little bottoms. And same as all
And what's
through
this
here.
pairing again?
This is ETC, BTC.
What's
so,
ETC?
Ethereum Classic. So originally, Ethereum, like there was the chain split. So technically, ETC is the original Ethereum chain. So we're just seeing a lot of interest here. These are kind of typical kind of parabolic arcs, and once they, pop over to the upside, looking for kind of like a horizontal continuation, or else like a 2/3 kind of Fibonacci retracement back down, wait for a little support and run her back up. And this sort of move in here and in here with this downward going channel kind of, again, there's potential upside, which then mirrors with Ethereum itself and other altcoins. So this was bottom of this channel here. This is like a Wyckoff thing. So 1, 2, and on your third point or fourth point or fifth points down the channel, or if it's a wedge of any kind, once you get a push below it, that accelerated selling is important, and seeing it bounce off there well. Seeing with a lot of other altcoins, these kind of bear markets, a bump last year, and then a lot of things that just kind of scooped underneath this level. And same thing here, kind of like a bear market, this push up last year. And then if you take along the bottom here, these little scoops below. So I think that these could end up being almost like Wyckoff springs. So I think people should watch these left shelves like here, or these horizontals from these old bottoms. So going across here, which is also this left shelf, or coming across the bottom from there.
What's your favorite altcoin?
I mean, I'm not married to anything. Just when it's starting to outperform Bitcoin, run a trend trade and just stack some Bitcoin. I'm not I'm not married to anything in that sense.
What are you dating?
What am I dating? Ethereum right now.
Okay.
Because of the that Livermore pattern.
No one talks about Litecoin anymore. Is there a reason?
It just doesn't. Here. There we go.
They didn't have as good of a PR.
Well,
network?
It doesn't really offer anything that Bitcoin doesn't. It's kind of, and it's often been sort of like a test net for Bitcoin when they're trying out new technologies. Because if you're gonna, I don't know, if you're gonna screw something up, screw up Litecoin, not Bitcoin. So it's been fairly cyclical. I think that's just this, it could break down here a bit and pop up to the upside, or it's just going to grind sideways through here, is what I think. Like it tends to take these long channels down and then just pops and drives hard. Kind of like how silver to gold, like gold will be in these nice market structures, and then silver's just flying all around all over the place, and then bang, it just catches up, like the silver to gold ratio. And that's often what Litecoin does. And that's the one reason that I myself often traded other altcoins, or ones that are in clearer trends or newer coins. Another thing to think of is, especially, I guess it's like
someone's asking about doggy coin. Doge.
Doge, yeah. Doge or dog, yeah. Yeah. So
was that a joke?
No. That's real. Yeah.
Wow. Look at that.
Yeah, that's a bad one.
Is that a Reddit move? Squeezing?
Yeah, and also Elon
Dale,
Musk.
I'm of the opinion that probably we have a very similar definition to what a joke is.
What is it?
No, I mean you and I.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just it's a meme coin, and it is. The interesting thing about Doge is it tends to have this 200 days down, 30 days up cycle, and it kind of hit. What is this?
So you could go on vacation, and the day they're going to squeeze it.
Almost. And
is there some kind of a place you can leave it when you go to vacation if the hotel doesn't permit it?
Your dog.
Yeah.
Your dog coin, yeah.
Yeah. Just.
Do you put a leash on it?
So
anyway, I love dogs.
Yeah.
Me too. All animals, actually.
Yeah.
Even humans. I mean, imagine.
So yeah, it was like the first, silly coin, and it's had regular pumps throughout the years on these cyclical marks. It was kind of not doing much, and then the Reddit thing happened, and then Elon Musk is on Twitter, and he trolls it every now and again and puts up a picture, and the price goes
He's
up.
an amazing troll, by the way, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. He can.
I mean, the guy just loves to be in the spotlight.
Exactly. So so Bitcoin up. If it can keep moving like the three arrows and other people are thinking, and especially with all this institutions and Guggenheim and all that coming in, then that means that altcoins should start to move, and Ethereum has, and it's moving to that Livermore pattern. And then once again, I'm saying to people that are more speculative and maybe making smaller position sizes, if you want to start looking at these other altcoins, not necessarily these ones, but I just picked these two to show that these patterns are very prevalent right now. And these patterns are a bear market with this push up that had last year, bear market push up last year, and the old lows on the left hand side, and or this shelf that's made on the left side of the bear market recently. I think that as markets come up and hit that resistance and make a little pullback, people are either going to buy the pullback of a Fibonacci in this area, or they're going to play breakouts of here. And that's my plan.
I really appreciate you coming in and showing some pretty unique stuff that Ethereum against Bitcoin, interesting. And Brock said, great job, DJ. So best way for people to follow you?
Just pop over to the Twitter there, DJ Thistle01, and you'll see links to the stuff I put up and my horrible opinions and takes on things that everyone can laugh at and go from there.
Okay. Really appreciate you stepping up and helping me out this week, man.
You betcha.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
All right. So another great
Bye.
Presentation by Matt at DJ Thistle 01. So Steve, want to remind everyone that Phase 2.0 starts in how many minutes, Steve?
in 20 minutes, but I'm going to open the room in like 5-10 minutes from now. So
Okay.
good.
And there you'll get Blake's bias chart, and you'll get the whole team talking about what they're seeing in the markets today and answer your questions. So become a member so you could participate in that session and all other aspects of Forex analytics. So thank you, Steve.
Bye-bye, coach.
All right, that's a wrap, everyone. Remember, don't just count your coins, whether they're crypto or silver coins, count your blessings, and we'll be back for to wrap up the week tomorrow. Good hunting.
Ciao, ciao.
Adios.